All right, this is ALK come for your live once again. It's been a while since I've been on here. I decided to take a break, but it's a thing that is very concerning was everything that's going on is pretty much a crash of the Republican. But like I say in my little comment that they will crash, just give it a matter of time that it will happen. But I just came on tonight just to encourage everybody when they watch this video, maybe on down the line and a time that they look at the date and remember what's going on. Right now, Alabama is really trying to take the one district that African American is the majority. But like I say, Republican will crash and, and they will crash hard sooner or later. I know it seemed like they got their stuff together and everything laid out. But it will crash because the majority of the people don't want nothing that they're giving. So, like I always do my spiel, I probably won't stay on about 15 minutes. I've been doing a lot of things. I've been trying to get people to vote, and hopefully that they'll go out and vote. So, my focus in being a candidate for president is helping the citizen. That's my main focus. And number one, like I always start with on the top of video, is those that fall in the acronym jail will be going to prison. And this is another spiel the acronym mean. I don't want to say it right now, but when actually get on my campaign trail and be more public, and I will let everyone know that what that acronym means. So number two, change minimum wage. I want to change it to $20, and just to help the citizen out and the time that where we're at. Also, with that minimum wage, we will try to get those prices down and everything back in sync like it was. So always and plus it's 40 hours is full time and 30 to 35 is part time. Number three is my goal for health. I'm not trying to change Obamacare, but I want to shift it for it can be better. And sometimes you have to make the hard choices. Every person should need insurance. So that's what we're gonna work on. And doing that, we're gonna try to lower medical costs, lower doctor visit costs, let it be one flat rate, lower hospital emergency care, and and those things. But the main thing about the healthcare, we want everybody to have healthcare. We're gonna try to have that minimum payment every month of a small amount of payment of your income. We'll adjust it and see what and how the economy doing, and then we'll set a price to that. But we all need healthcare, and that's the most important thing. Number four is education is another important thing. Teach and pray, try to raise, get schools, look at schools, try to build where schools at now, try to increase funds at schools that is in a sense in poverty and don't have enough income to be successful for the kids. So we're gonna work on that and changing children at school hours. I'm gonna work on that, put in a time that it benefit for people that go to work every day. It benefit people that go during the summer. Parents are still working, and daycare is good, but we got to say the cost, not taking from business, but we want to say the cost of parents not having to put their kid in daycare and spending all that money because daycare is going up by the minute. So if daycare is going up, we're gonna make another avenue, a way that they can save money another way. Like I say, number five, lower food costs, which is gonna be easy. We just gotta talk to all these businesses and people that produce. that item and say, hey, we got to get these prices back down. And sometimes you have to be forcefully, sometimes you have to use the legal mean. So get these prices back down. Number six is our Social Security. Social Security is very important because it helps people that work at a job all their life, but didn't have the education to get the high paying job or in a place that didn't have the high paying job. So they deal with it, they have retirement, probably got retirement, but it's still not enough to be successful in they older age. When you get a certain age, you should be as this country, we should be willing to put more into our elderly people that they won't have to suffer because now dealing with this age, by the time we get 60 something, we are more need physical help or more money going to medicine, trying to stay healthy, trying to live longer. So we need to work on having a better plan, a finance plan with that. So therefore, that Social Security, I want to change the date of when you can withdraw. I don't believe that it's right to have a draw early versus if you draw at this date, you get your more money. I don't think that's fair because we don't put well, we do put into Social Security, but it shouldn't be dictated by somebody that telling us that you can't grow to this. And pretty much everybody in Congress that's over 62, 67, how you grow Social Security. If that be the case, if they working in the federal government, we could make it more harder for them. Say if you go on Social Security, you can't get paid. It should be a cut of 20% or 30%. Your Social Security should be more. In other words, you should pay in more in that sense. So let's go to the next one. We're gonna try to do that. I believe that we can. And seven, and this is so important. And what's going on now, and we heard it many times. We've seen it many times. The voting rights. I want to change that. I have a plan for that. I'm not going to too much talk on that, but when that plan go forward, voting right is not due to what color you are. It's not that. It should be every person should have the right that is a United States citizen, the right to vote, whatever race you are, wherever the case be, regardless if you got a criminal record or anything. That right should be yours because you don't your rights for voting is not taken away when you go in, do your time, and you come back out. You still should have that right, just like you have the right to pay taxes. When you get out of prison, you get a job. So if that be the case, they shouldn't have to pay taxes or none of that. But it should be a right to vote. So I'm changing that. I got a plan for that. So the last one is number eight, student debt cancellation. And I look at this in this faction. Student at least should pay some to a limit. And I'm looking at that 20 to 30%. Once they pay that 20 to 30% of their student loan, as we put into the cancellation debt funds and try to keep it at a level while they paying on it, help pay on it because education is important. But you still have to pay some. I feel that you still have to pay some of it if you're gonna get cancellation. And most of these things are for students that have parents or low income. It's not for the rich and the bold. If you making $3 to $4 million, you should automatic don't look for trying to get on your student debt payment. If your parents is a millionaire, your parents got a big business, your parent making in the I say in the 7 8 figure number. you should be able to pay for your kids' student debt. So we look at that, and then the last one is rental prices. I want to work on the rental prices with the business, home rental, apartment rentals. I want to deal with them in a way, and I got some set prices, but dealing with them here might change. I'm not gonna really put the set prices out there, but in a budget way, it should be set. And I know each state is different, but if you look overall, if you look at hotels and everything, pretty much all the hotels in each state the same. So you have to balance that for for the hotel as well. I know I'm talking about rental and balance the rental property as well because most rental property people is pretty much all over the country. So you have to have that basic that base number to work on. So I look at that one, two bedroom should be different price, should be the same price. It should never be a rental property be depending on which state you live in. I understand that, but it also depends on the economy. If minimum wage is still at that state is 7.25, you shouldn't have no high rent. You know, your rent should never be over $1,000 if your state still represents 7.25 as minimum wage, which they haven't changed it. So we're gonna stop that and put that to a stop. If you ain't raising minimum wage, your property is gonna be at a limit. You know, if you had a state, for example, and your minimum wage still 7.25, and you try to have a property to rent for $2,000, that gonna change. It shouldn't be. If you want to have a rental property that high, eh, the minimum rate for that state have to be higher. And that's why I said that if you want it to be changed and you want to put that rent, you need to talk to the people that's in charge, your governor, and all of that. That they ain't raised minimum rate, they ain't passed a bill to a law to raise minimum wage. But that's some of the thing that basically what I want to do. Them nine things. My goal is nine. I'm not gonna say it's gonna go as quick, but in the first year, I really want to make sure that I take care of them nine, and then we'll start working on the second year with foreign policies and all of that. We're still gonna be working with that, but it's not gonna be our number one focus because this administration have got that so messed up. I would like for everything to cool off and everything get balanced, and we will have a someone to represent the United States as in the foreign policy, talking to them and having a relationship with them, but as well as me as being hopefully being president, I have that communication and we'll smooth things out. It's not gonna be smooth the first year. I'm not worried about that, but we can smooth things out. The activity that's going on now is so ruthless that we have to make that change and we may have to make them tough decisions. My goal is just have to understand me. My goal is not to fix something that is not broke. Now, as I'm coming in, I'm not going to try to fix something that's not broke. What we got to do, we have to set that standard and make people go by, eh, say, the Constitution. Now, some of the amendment might we have to change. Well, I know I will. We'll change it to a way that it cancels out racism. It cancels out people that misinterpreted what it's stating. It don't leave the door open. Now, as our forefather did, people were more kindly back then. They were more friendly users. But now we got the wicked people and the crazy people in the office. So now we have to make the law more make a statement that means something and that they can't suggest it be something else. If a car is blue, it's blue. We don't put in there the car might be blue when the light reflects, it might look another color. No, we make that statement the car is blue. It's nothing else. No light reflecting, no in the door, it might look another color. No, the car is blue. That's me. So it can be a lot of things that I have seen, and with my closing tonight, I didn't want to start to after the midterm election. But I think I'm gonna get out there and start campaigning. I'm trying to get some more stuff and situated. I'm trying to build my team. Hopefully, those that I'm trying to get in touch with say yes. And then if I could get them where I need them to be at, I will start before midterm. But in my thought is there to support the candidates versus announcing who and what I plan to do. So I wanted to do it after the midterm, but it seemed like I'm gonna go before it. And you say when you actually see this video, you understand my thought process as I'm seeing things, as I'm doing things. So I'm gonna have to start making plans to go to certain rallies, plan some just to get the people out to vote in November. So that's my goal. I thought I was gonna keep laying back, not laying back, not to get people to vote, but laying back before I start my campaign. Because once you start, it gonna start. So by July, if everything work out right, I just have to go full force and just hit it a little early. I thought it was gonna be just a little surprise, but I'm gonna go hit it early, get ahead of the game, and just go all the way. Probably get for July, what till November, we just hit it hard and just go right into the after the midterm, just keep on going. So that's my goal, and we know that we got a long road, we got a challenge. So I believe that we can do it, but we just got to hold fast and hold tight to what we're doing. So that's all I got for you tonight. When you see the video, just remember this is my thought process. I'm not trying to get views right now, but I was trying to wait till I go out and start my campaign. But it seems like I'm gonna have to go again a little early. But that's all I have tonight. But stay focused, don't quit. Tell somebody get out to vote. Be strong. Like I always say, ALK out. I see you before the midterm or after the midterm. As some of the people they see me walking here and there, making sure that they vote and register vote and try to convince the ones saying that, oh, my vote don't care. But hopefully you can get those at least 2 out of 5. Hopefully can change their mind that they vote. So here we go. Get ready for the midterm and let's fight this battle with the redistricting and hopefully people turn out. Hopefully Republican crash and they didn't know how much they'll crash. But I hope some of the Republicans, like I know they will, won't vote the party of the MAGA, but vote for the democracy, vote for people that gonna change it and not hurt it. So have a good night. See you on the campaign run.